Good afternoon to you, dear AMAM listeners, and welcome to this very first show of the year 2022. First of all, I would like to wish you a very, very great and happy and prosperous new year 2022 on behalf of the AMAM Association. And today we will discuss about one particular issue that keeps popping over here in Europe in general. The issue in question is resulting from the fact that a lot of migrants come here and request for asylum, the asylum seekers. And we know that that process of the asylum application can be much lengthier than planned. So in the meantime, while the migrants are waiting for the application to be processed, we would discuss of what they can do to really take advantage of that time and to really make the best out of it. So good morning, Regine.
Hi, Lorraine. Thank you very much for the introduction, the good one, and also for the best wishes for the new year. I join you to wishing to all our listeners, viewers of all the best for the beginning of this year. If you have decided to take a New Year resolution, try to stick for 21 days. Lorraine, is that what you said? That
Yes,
for
exactly.
for someone to change an habit, you need 21 days to make it work. So yeah, try to stick on your resolution for at least 21 days, and it might be something successful. And so yes, you said that there is a lengthy period of time. Maybe let us try to explain what it is, because there is the immigration system in any EU countries. It's not really
in any Western country.
in any Western countries actually, yeah, exactly. And there is a time frame during which someone who applies for asylum is expected to receive the result. Because of the backlog, it happens that many people can wait, if not months, even years. And we are here in the context of Malta. We know of many asylum seekers, and it's not only the hearsay, it is there are facts that have been waiting for a year, 2 years, 3 years before being interviewed, before receiving the results of the asylum. It is a very
I would
difficult
just
situation.
kicked in over here to say it is very lengthy in the sense that people are waiting for it for months, sometimes, most of the times, even years, as opposed to normally supposed to be 6 months. Within 6 months, officially, it should be processed and whatsoever. But there is such a huge backlog of the applications that unfortunately, it takes years. And in fact,
Exactly.
I believe I came to you a couple of weeks ago because I had a co-worker that had an issue with his
ID.
asylum that was denied. And but this is not the subject today. But basically, this is when you kind of uncovered that process to me, because I had no idea of how the
Yeah, it works.
asylum
Yes,
seekers
exactly.
procedure goes on. And
It is a situation which is common into the asylum system, because if you don't work on the field, you might not be aware of what's actually going on, and you have a lot of people who have actually settled as families with children, but still waiting for the final decision of the asylum. And
obviously,
you can imagine how it can be for someone who wants to make plans for the future.
for a long
What
term.
do you stand?
And this is why we're making this video, because I mean, obviously, I mean, my advice over here is not just to um, silently wait for that asylum and just make your life depending solely on that asylum. In the meantime, what I usually say is that time is really priceless. The time
Mm-hmm.
that you have lost, it is very difficult to get it back. So even if you're waiting for an asylum, regardless of if it would be denied or accepted, I believe you can make a good use of the time that while you were waiting for the asylum. Good use in the sense that whatever you would have learned doing or whatever you would have done during that waiting period can
Exactly.
serve you in a very long term.
Exactly.
So this is where I believe, and I think it's you also believe that this is
Absolutely.
where
Absolutely.
you should put your focus, where you should invest actually, onto that time, into doing something meaningful for you in the long run, not
Yes.
just in those 2-3 years while waiting for asylum.
And that is it, because we are speaking, not being in the shoes of the people who actually have been waiting. It might be easy for us to speak, but again, we here talking about young people most of the time, who still have the future ahead of them. So and they find themselves in the context where they are learning opportunities, where they have to decide what to do of a time that has been imposed to them, to wait for something that is necessary for their life, documentation. While waiting for that documentation, you are being stopped from, you cannot accept to be stopped from living, exactly. So
And
you have
learning.
to, and learning, exactly. So you have to actually live. What do you do, Lorraine? So that's why we come in. We want
So yes, I
to
mean,
suggest some things.
one of the things that I always say to people is, again, I would repeat myself, time is priceless, really. And as you so rightfully mentioned, most of the people that are looking for asylum, they are basically youngsters, less than 40 years old in most cases. But even if they are more than 40 years old, I really consider that life is really all a path of learning and practicing what you've learned. So going back to learning, I think, in my opinion, we can use that time while waiting, not just for the asylum, but also for anything in life. You can benefit in that waiting time by picking up something that you are interested in,
Exactly. Yeah.
learn about it if you don't know anything about it, and start practicing it to the point that you even become an expert. Now, in countries where, especially where here in Europe or in Western countries, basically, my suggestion would be to pick an area where there is a need. A
Yeah.
need, and then you learn the skills that are needed for that.
Yes.
And then you start practicing and practicing and practicing until you are the expert. So that way, when you request your asylum, or most of the time you would have already requested the asylum.
Exactly. Yeah.
Basically, people would say that you are good in this specific area, and they wouldn't want to let you go because you are so good that it would benefit the communities that you're living in this case, Western world. I mean, if somebody that is coming, let's say, from, really deep down there from Africa, coming here in Europe, and he learns how to become, I don't know, let's say a brain surgeon, for example. I don't know how many brain surgeons there are here in Malta, but if he picks up the skills, and I mean, obviously I'm exaggerating brain surgeon because you need to go to med school and stuff like
Yes,
that.
it is,
But if he really picks up the skill of that specific job and really becomes good at that, I can assure you, no country would refuse to give you the paper that you need, because you would be, how can I say, you would be, they would be benefiting from your own skills, actually.
You need it, yes.
Exactly, you need it. So.
And there are platforms available for learning opportunities. There are so many opportunities today. We live in a digital world where, again, we are in Europe. You're already here as an asylum seeker, and we are in Europe where you have internet almost everywhere. So you don't have the excuse of saying that I don't have the connection. You have that connection. You have the platforms where you can receive training for free. You just need to know where to go if you are looking for something where that you can learn from home, from wherever. I have some names of platforms where anyone can go and check where you can access. You have what it is called, and again, the education has been so democratized, so made available, that they have created. It came from America as usual. Americans, good and bad, they actually have a lot of material out there. It is called the Massive Online Open Courses. They are the acronym is MOOC, Massive Online Open Courses. You go to any platform of MOOC, I will call them MOOC, and you tap you have the one which is called Coursera. Coursera, it is an American platform where you have millions of free courses given by the best universities in the world. You have free courses from Princeton, we know Harvard, we know you name it, whatever university you've ever heard of America, they have free online courses in that platform which is called Coursera. You also have another platform which is called EDX. You had another one which is French, for the French speaking, which is called France Université Numérique, FUN. And you go on the platform, you will find so many courses that start from the beginning, the mid, the intermediary, the advanced level. One example for me, I learned how to edit quality videos on France Université Numérique. It was the best course ever that I've ever done, even I have studied it after. It was free. I learned so many things out there. So that's what we're saying, that as Lauren was saying, if you specialize yourself, for example, in video editing, let's say, and then you have a lot of news organizations now that are looking for people who are good at that skill.
Absolutely.
You become an expert on that. You sell your skills there.
And not just even the news organization, but and it's even a very good example what you talk, like video editing. I mean, someone who's able to video edit, my goodness, you don't even know the opportunities that you have. First of all, because we're living in a digitalized world, but also because so everybody watches videos and whatsoever. But when you're good at video editing, you can become an amazing producer, whether it's of music, of movies, I mean, it's like,
exactly,
you know, just go and check how much a producer in Hollywood.
A wealth of opportunities open
so
there for
it's
video
like
editing.
So don't just see it as, oh no, I'm just learning something that is absolutely no, it's not worthless. No,
absolutely no.
Every skill has a worth. You just need to find its value and capitalize on it. But first, you need to learn it if you don't know anything about it. And even if you know some things about it, you need to keep improving and improving.
And improving, exactly.
That way you become an expert. And that way you become irreplaceable in your niche, you know. Another thing that I would like to give as an advice as well is, even, first of all, go from within yourself. What do you like doing?
Exactly.
And look in your environment. What do you have around you? Yesterday, I was reading this story, I think, of a Namibian lady that decided to quit her job. Now, she's Namibian in Namibia, so the issue here might be a bit different. But I want to specify one thing. She quit her job so she would be able to produce bricks, you know, the bricks that you use to build your house, out of plastic. Do you know the amount of plastic waste that is around the world? I think there's like a 6 or 7 continents that those exist, you know, just based on plastic, you know. And okay, she quit her job just to be able to focus on that for 1 year. And for 1 year, she designed a brick. She was able to design bricks made of plastic that can be used to build a house.
You see,
as far as I'm concerned, I mean, as far as I know, only this lady in the world knows how to do it.
Exactly. So this is a job opportunity, business opportunity.
And everybody's trying to get rid of plastic because it's difficult to get rid of it. It's difficult to recycle. Not difficult to recycle, but it's really difficult for the plastic to become biodegradable because it takes like
100 years.
Exactly. You know. So this lady, she decided to find this solution, and you know, I mean, if you can build a house made of plastic, you know.
Yes, that is an example of what opportunity I want. If you allow me to come back to the video editing thing, because I want to take the example of an asylum seeker who only has his mobile phone to start over. So what can I do? I don't have the skill to, as an engineer, or I have my mobile phone and I decide to do the video editing. What are the opportunities open there for me? with a video editing, you can start your YouTube channel. We all know that if you produce quality videos on YouTube, you can grow your audience at the point where it becomes monetized. That means that
Exactly.
you can earn money from your
From
YouTube
that,
channel.
from that, exactly. So and it is, I mean, obviously, even if you might think, okay, the quality of my camera is not working fine or
No, no,
whatsoever,
whatever.
no one care. People only care about
The
the
content and
quality of the content, not the
the
quality of
sound.
the image,
Yes,
but the content.
I will even tell you how many my mobile phones have bad videos. The mobile phones now are just so good that the sound is perfect, the microphone is perfect. Video editors are free on mobile phone, so you just download a video editor for free. Actually, you pay nothing. The only thing you pay is your internet connection and
Absolutely.
maybe a mobile phone that you buy.
And you need an email address.
And you need an email address,
That's it.
and you can become a businessman. You can become someone who's
Absolutely.
being looked after by film organization.
Absolutely.
So
It's like, exactly. So pick a skill, master it,
yeah,
practice, 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 practice,
Yeah.
practice, and become really good at it.
yes, and don't complain about I'm waiting for my documentation. Of course, you have to wait for your documentation,
But in the
make-
meantime,
do
you will be
something.
gaining some skills that can be useful on the very long run. So
Yes.
make use. Don't just depend on that documentation
Yeah.
or whatsoever. Because I mean, even if, let's say, you depend on that documentation, okay, and then you haven't taken the opportunity of learning these skills that you have the opportunity of, what happens after?
Exactly.
If your documentation is denied to you,
Denied.
what happens after?
What
You would
happened?
have nothing. You would have lost 2-3 years of your life, basically, and if you do something wrong, you're being deported back.
Yes.
So all of this for
For
nothing.
nothing. At least you have learned something.
It's literally for nothing. So it's kind of,
Yes.
at least learn something over here that you can take back home in case you're deported or whatsoever. And I would even give an example of how powerful this can be. Now, this again is a bit of an extreme example, but my point here is still the same. Years ago, there was a situation in France where a baby was hanging on a balcony and whatsoever.
Yes.
And there was this
Young man from Mali.
yes, I am not sure if he was an asylum seeker or
He
whatsoever.
was an asylum
He
seeker.
was an
yes.
he was an asylum seeker, still
Yes.
waiting for his documentation to be processed. He saved the baby. I mean, you can check the videos on the internet and whatsoever. I mean, I think it went around the world.
Headlines, yes,
It's
even-
like
It was
And-
an amazing thing.
he because of just that action, he went from being an asylum seeker to becoming a French citizen. So it's like, now obviously I'm not asking you to go into this extreme situationship, but my point here is, it is considered as being, his action was considered as being like services
Yes.
done to the French nation. Now, in your case, I would say find a skill, if need be, that can be a service, considered as a service done to the community or to the countries that you're living in.
Yeah.
Now, if it's not considered that way, at least learn a new skill so you don't lose that precious
For
time
yourself, yes.
for your own self
It is
in the
important.
long run.
Absolutely, it is
So-
important. It's always important to learn a new skill. So that is it.
Absolutely.
And I think that's only one thing we wanted to bring to. That's what we wanted to bring.
I mean,
to
if you're good in art, in craftsmanship, in whatsoever, just do it. Snap pictures, create yourself whatever social account media or whatsoever, and expose your work. I mean, just
become a
expose people.
photographer. Become something.
Right.
Use your
Even if
mobile
it's
phone.
a carpenter.
Carpenter.
I mean, I have seen extraordinary things that can be done with wood. I mean, you would be surprised of the things that one can do with wood. Actually, it's kind of, so just go for it. Don't doubt that you can succeed, because you can succeed. And if you really put on the work, you will succeed. There is no reason that you don't. Now, I'm not saying that things would be easy. Absolutely not. This is not the message I'm giving here.
It's not easy, and that's what actually me. I would like to stress on the means, the tools, because of course we know the economic aspects sometimes can be the problem, but here the tools that we're talking about here, it is actually the digital tools. If you don't have the wood to become a carpenter, you have your mobile phone. You can create content on that. You can create a blog And if you are good at writing, you start writing articles, you start writing stories. You can even write a book. Why don't you write a book of your story, of the story of your country, of your family? You can become a writer. You can document. You can document things. You can another thing that I thought of. You can become a motivational speaker.
Absolutely.
You can empower other people. You can decide to raise awareness of something that matters into the community. And when you are noticed, and you create a space and a space where you get known, that will generate traffic that can bring you money.
Absolutely.
Everything it is a money opportunity here.
I even have another example that is a bit unusual, but I think it can really help people, even if you have no idea of what to do. Okay, I will give you this simple example. There was this one person. I'm not sure if he was American or whatsoever, but whatever. He was really wishing to improve the way he was, throwing the basketball into the net.
Yes.
So he was really looking into one of these big basketball players. I'm not sure if it was LeBron or Jordan. I'm not sure who it was. So he gave himself the mission of his lifetime, basically, to improve his shots.
Yeah.
Okay? And what he decided to do was, I forgot the name of that person, but it really amazed me. He decided to film, video, tape his progression. I think it was on a daily or on a weekly basis, but it was very frequent,
Yeah.
And throughout time, like less than a year or two, basically, people started noticing what he was doing.
Yes.
And it was interesting because people could see where he started from and where it led him to. And he really became very, very good. If I tell you, he managed to monetize his YouTube channel, would you believe me? It's like, so it's like a diary, an open diary,
yes.
that he started to do or whatsoever.
Yes.
You as a migrant, you can do something similar.
Absolutely, you can do it. You have
As
plenty
your
of time.
your life as a migrant or as an asylum seeker in whatever country you are.
Yes.
You document it, you put it open there in the air, so people see, and I can assure you it will get traction.
It will, because let me even tell another story of the young Senegalese who lives in Italy, Kabilan. This is a young person from Senegal who, during the lockdown, he started his TikTok channel, doing very short, but doing very short things, funny things of 10 seconds, and then I think he's one of the most followed on TikTok, or at least the second one most followed on TikTok, with more than 100 millions of followers, doing nothing, not even opening his mouth.
Exactly.
So this is so many opportunities that are out there. If you don't have any means, you have a mobile phone, you know how to edit a simple video, you know how to speak, you learn how to speak. You take advantage of everything that's out there online for free, available for you to as learning opportunities, and you can make it.
Absolutely. And there is a lot of valuable content out there, even for free. So it's not, don't beat yourself over because you're looking for online contents that can be expensive or whatsoever. No, there's a lot of you just need to be looking for them and know where to find them, but there's a lot of valuable content. It's very simple. You can find everything on the internet.
And if you need any information, you can reach out to us. We have plenty of information that we can share, and of course we are very happy to help. Okay. So I think we're gonna close this program today. It was decided because we started this conversation as a chat among us, and then we said why not put it out there.
Absolutely, so, it was like a casual chat, and we were like, okay, why not do a quick show about it? And so here we are. So.
So we hope that you enjoy the show, that you learn something. Again, if you need to know more, just reach out, and then we'll be very, very happy to give you addresses, website.
And if you have even any other suggestion, or if you started creating such content or started working on a similar project, please let us know. Really and truly, we really like reading you guys, and
absolutely, that would be good. And if you need some tips, and then if you need connections, reach out, and of course follow us, as we always ask you to do on our social media, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on the SoundCloud, on Anchor, on Spotify. And actually, before we go, I want to tell you that we started a podcast on Spotify, so you can find us there and leave us a comment.
Or you can just go to the website. The list of podcasts are there actually,
Yes.
and so you just go to the home page of the website africanmedia malta.com,
Yes.
and there would be like a section that is called podcast, and the list of podcasts would be there. So
Yes.
just feel free, and if you would like us to talk about any other subjects, please let us know. It would be our absolute pleasure. If you would like to come here and visit so we discuss about a subject, please
You're
know that
also
you're
welcome.
welcome as well,
Absolutely.
so
Okay.
so thank you very much for listening, and once again we wish you a prosperous new year, and we hope to see you very soon.
See you soon. Bye.